Welcome back, my dear students. I know your exams are just around the corner, so don't you worry one bit. Today, we're going to break down globalization and social change into super simple points. Chalo, let's get you ready for full marks.
Okay, so before we even touch the textbook definitions, just look around you for a second. That phone in your hands, the jeans you're probably wearing, maybe the pizza you're dreaming of for dinner. Do you think they're all made in just one place? No way! They are all little examples of globalization, right in your daily life. Kinda cool, right?
So first things first, what is this big, complicated-sounding word, globalization? Let's just make it super simple. Think of it like this. You know how an Instagram reel goes viral? It can go from India to America in, a few seconds, while globalization just means that ideas, products, and money can now travel across the entire world just as fast. It's like the world has become one huge connected neighborhood. It's all about connection and speed. Now, a huge part of globalization is about business and money. So how did India, which was kind of closed off before, suddenly become such a big player in this global market? Well, let's look at the story.
The one year you have to remember is 1991. Before this, you could think of India's economy like a house with its doors shut tight. This was to protect all our local businesses from outside competition. But in 1991, the government introduced liberalisation, which is basically just a policy of relaxing the rules. And just like that, the door opened wide. Foreign companies could now come in, bringing new products and a lot of investment.
And when that door opened, who came in? The big players. We call them transnational corporations, or TNCs for short. And a great way to think of a TNC is like a giant octopus. Its head, its main office, might be in one country, let's say America. But its tentacles, its factories, its shops are spread out all over the world, including right here in India. You see their names everywhere, right? Coca-Cola, Nike, and so many more. This is a brilliant example of how TNCs work. Just look at this car, the Pontiac Le Mans. Now, it might look like an American car, but it's actually a global product. The design is from Germany, the engine is from Japan, it's all put together in South Korea, and the management happens from the USA. All these different countries working together to make just one single car. That, my friends, is the global production line in action. Okay. So money and markets, that's one thing. But what about us? Our culture, our food, our music? Has globalization changed our daisy hearts? Let's find out. You know, when globalization first started, a lot of people were scared of something called homogenization. It's a fancy word, I know, but it just means the fear that everyone would start becoming the same. You know, eating the same burgers, wearing the same jeans, listening to the same music. But what actually happened was something far more interesting. It's called Glocalisation.
Glocalisation. This is the golden word you must remember for your exams. It's so simple. You take a global idea and you add a local desi flavor to it. You mix and match and you create something completely new and unique.
And the best example, straight from your textbook, is McDonald's. It's a huge American company, right? But did they come to India and start selling their famous beef burgers? No way. They understood our Indian culture. They created the Malud Tikki burger. I mean, that's a perfect mix of a global brand with a local Indian taste. They even go vegetarian during our festivals like Navratri. This is glocalization at its absolute best. And the examples are just everywhere. MTV, an American music channel, started speaking in Hindi just to connect with us. We got all this amazing fusion music like Bhangra pop. And just look at our Bollywood movies. The hero and heroine might be dancing in Switzerland, but the story is still all about family values and Indian emotions. It's the global and the local dancing together.
Now, for a very important question for your exams, how did globalization affect jobs in India? Well, like a coin, it has two sides. For some people, it brought amazing new opportunities, but for others, it brought some really tough challenges.
So, on the one hand, a whole wave of new jobs opened up for young people in cities, especially in IT, in call centers, in all these new shopping malls. This created a new aspirational middle class with more money to spend. But on the other hand, the import of cheaper foreign goods was a big problem for our traditional workers. Our weavers, silk spinners, and fishermen found it very hard to compete, and sadly, many of them lost their livelihoods. It's really important to remember both sides of this story for your answer. All right, everyone, focus up. Pens and paper ready. Let's get straight to what you've been waiting for. How to score full marks on this topic in your exam. So imagine you open your exam paper and this question pops up.
Explain the cultural consequences of globalization in India. For 5 marks. How do you write the perfect answer? Don't worry, I'll show you exactly how.
Here is your roadmap to a perfect answer. First, start with a simple introduction. Then, the most important point, explain the key idea of glocalization. Make sure you use a strong example, like the McGlue Tiki Burger. Then you can add another point about the new culture of consumption because of malls. And very importantly, show the other side. Mention the challenges faced by our traditional artisans. Finally, just wrap it all up with a balanced conclusion. Follow this path, and you are all set for full marks.
So, as we wrap up this super quick revision, what is the one big idea that I want you to take away from this entire chapter? The most important thing to remember is that globalization is not some faraway, difficult concept. It's right here, right now. It connects your personal life, what you eat, what you wear, what you watch, to the bigger story of the entire world. You are part of a global network.
And to end, I have a little challenge for you. Just pause for a moment and look around you, wherever you are right now. Can you spot one thing that is a product of globalization? It could be anything. Think about it. I promise this will help you remember the lesson forever. All right, everyone, that's all for today. Study well, stay confident, and all the very best for your exams. You are all going to do wonderfully.